Hi, I'm Brad Kuvin, Editorial Director of MetalForming magazine at the Precision Metal Forming Association. I'm here at Schuler North America with Kevin McAllister, President of Schuler. Hello, Kevin.
Hi, Brad.
How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Excellent. So, Kevin, we just finished our collaborative laser blanking line seminar. How do you see this technology changing manufacturing standards moving forward?
That's a great question, Brad. I mean, you know, I go back to customers' discussions that I've had, and there's some topics that are coming to the forefront. One of them being flexible manufacturing. I read a study on the weekend, an automotive study, that talked about 245 different models being introduced over the next 4 years. And on an annual average basis, that's 50% higher than the last 20 years. So more than ever, it's going to be important to have flexibility in manufacturing where you can get the products to market, and yet you don't know yet whether you're going to be producing at a mass level or not. And so it's being able to produce those small batches and get products there. The other demand that we're seeing from customers in flexible manufacturing is the materials. Again, this is a drive to EVs, which we'll talk a little bit more about, but it's lighter and stronger materials. And so that is also a request that we can deal with in the flexible side. The other aspect which I hear a lot is volumetric efficiency. And this is about producing using less space. And it's not just about new plants, it's also about existing plants where you can fit our technology within and use a lower footprint. And of course, with costs going up for construction, even real estate prices going up, I mean, again, this becomes an important factor. And as always, it's producing for less. I mean, reduce capital investment. I mean, if they can, again, produce for a lower cost, that's also important for our customers. And one that we're seeing come more in the North American market, it's been a focus in Europe for years, is sustainability. I mean, now with the increase in raw material cost in particular, I mean, the less scrap you produce, the more efficient and lower cost your overall operation is, among other things. And as you just heard with our intelligent software, we can actually program the parts to use less material and have less scrap in the end. So it's you know, a good fit. When I look at the technology, this dye-free laser blanking, I mean, it checks all of those boxes of those critical items for our customers.
Kevin, tell us about Schuler North America's core competencies. Where do you see the strengths of the company?
Yeah, I mean, our primary focus here, Brad, is really as a service company. I mean, we have manufacturing facilities around the globe, primarily in Germany and Brazil. And our role here first starts with service. And with service, I'm talking about spare parts, modernization. And that is our primary competency here that we really focus on, including training, development. The other part is new equipment sales, where we actually support the sales process of engaging with our customers here on selling new capital equipment, as well as with project management during execution. And then last but not least, we have a hydroforming technology center here. And this is where we actually produce parts, hydroforming parts for customers, as well as designing dies and producing dies to support their hydroforming process. We have in North America, which includes Mexico, over 200 employees. And we have in the US, we have 3 facilities here in Canton, Michigan, including our global headquarters where we are today. And in Western Michigan, we have BCN Technical Services. And that company there, as you can see on my shirt, I have the logo here, is supporting our Bliss clearing and Niagara products and that installed base of customers that we have there as well. And then we also have in the US a service location currently in Austin, Texas, supporting a key customer down there. In Mexico, we have 3 locations, including our primary headquarters in Puebla, Mexico, just outside of Mexico City.
Kevin, Schuler is German-based, so for the North American market, how does service, spare part orders, and modernization work?
Yeah, if I may, Brad, further clarify that we're German-based, but we're a global company. We're present in over 40 countries and we have 5,000 employees. So we are a very large company and supporting our installed base around the world. When we talk about service, I guess the first thing to know in the 3 years that I've been with Schuler, it's been a pleasure to be with the market leader and the technical know-how that we have here, and how important that is in leveraging and supporting our customers. And really, for me, service starts with having highly skilled techs. I mean, the most important thing for our customers is keeping production running. And at the end, I mean, it's important that we have the right people that are available when needed to help them get back up and running. And we do invest a lot. This year, we've invested over $750,000 in training our people. As we get new technology on shore, we make sure that our techs are involved in those projects and that they're gaining the knowledge needed to respond to customers. So, as always with the company, and ours is no different, our success is always based on the people, and this is where we invest heavily. And our presses have been in service for decades, and I'm shocked sometimes when I see the presses that as I go visit customers, how long they've been there. And a big part of keeping those going is doing the upgrades and retrofits on those. And the important part for me is we don't just service our own equipment, we also service other brands. I would say almost a quarter of our business is based on our competitors' presses, where we're asked to come in and to do upgrades and add other enhancements to those equipment. So it's an exciting time in the market. We're lucky to have such a large installed base of customers, and we will continue to invest in supporting in them. And a last piece of service I would mention is the fact that we tailor service contracts for our customers. And that is a matter of we can provide them the service that they need, and we will often review them on an annual basis to see what they used, what they didn't use, and then retool it for the following year to make sure we have that support for them.
Kevin, as a supplier to the metal forming market, what trends are you currently noticing, and how is Schuler North America catering to those trends?
I mean, it's an exciting time. If I look at the automotive industry, of course, anybody that reads on the industry, it's all about electric vehicles. I had mentioned earlier the 245 models being introduced over the next 4 years. 60% of those are going to be electric or hybrid. If I look at Schuler Group-wide last year, almost 25% of our orders were in what we call the e-mobility space. And it will only grow going forward. And so it's an exciting time. And when you ask what solution we provide in the e-mobility space, a key one for us now is developing and providing press lines for producing battery cans. And what we've recognized is an opportunity to expand further in that space. And we're now working on further developments, including acquisitions, to expand in the battery cell manufacturing. So that would include the cell development as well as the finishing. And so it's an exciting opportunity, and you can expect to hear news from Schuler in the future about the steps we're taking to get a bigger share of that market. And again, I mean, if I look at the press over the last year, I mean, there's been tens of billions of dollars announced in this space by various automakers, both the incumbent and the new OEMs. Another space that we look at is new materials. Again, I mentioned earlier, it's about lightweight material, again, driven by electric vehicles. But one case of this is composite materials. We're now seeing opportunities coming up, including a major order we had last year with a kitchen and bath customer, providing tub and shower enclosures. Again, they're building a brand new plant in Arizona. We're looking at aerospace. We're talking with customers. Wind turbine blades is another opportunity. So again, that entire space is expanding.
How involved is Schuler North America in the Industry 4.0 sector?
Oh, that's a great question, Brad. That one hits deep in my career. Didn't mention earlier, but I'm a control systems engineer by training. I graduated as electrical engineer, but got involved very early in control systems and programming, and an exciting space. And while we're known traditionally as a mechanical engineering company because of the large presses we deliver, this is an exciting space. We live in the information age. It's always about having information quickly and readily available so that our customers can make decisions when they need. Another thing that I've really enjoyed since joining Schuler is we have customer-driven innovation. It's not about engineers sitting back in a lab and developing products and then trying to find a market. It's about listening to our customers and providing what they need to fit their needs. And we are investing heavily in this space. We have a digital suite that we're investing in heavily, and the products that we have now include visual die protection. And this is a camera-based system with customized software where we can save our customers considerable downtime and cost by preventing accidents in the die space before they happen. We've already sold 34 of these globally. And what's interesting for me is 2 of the ones we sold here in North America, again, have been on competitors' presses. At the same time, it's not just something we can do for new equipment. Again, we can retrofit these solutions on existing equipment. Monitoring solutions, we've sold over 70 of those globally. And this is again about providing the key and critical information from the customer's equipment and making it available even on their phones. When they're at home on vacation, they can actually monitor how production is going and if any actions need to be taken. We have a track and trace solution. This is one where you can follow a part from the very beginning of the process and trace it throughout the entire process to the end. And from a quality point of view, if they ever run into an issue in their process, they can actually track that back and try and quickly determine where the problem exists. And there's many more solutions. We could go on this topic for at least an hour. And really it's about, for me, providing reliable and simple solutions for our customer to help get to a higher overall equipment effectiveness, or OEE.
Schuler North America continues to flourish throughout what have been challenging global conditions, supply shortages. How does the company continue to succeed and overcome these obstacles?
Yeah, I guess the most important point for me there, Brad, is Schuler is a company that's been around for close to 200 years. It's a remarkable history, and out of that we have a culture, and I mentioned the global nature of being in over 40 countries. What has really been exciting for me since I joined is it's really about supporting each other and having a collaboration. I mean, we don't have every answer here to solve every problem, and it's that ability to work with and across the company to solve these problems. Another important aspect for me is having the transparency with our customers. If there's a particular issue we're dealing with on supply and we can't necessarily solve it one way, it's an open dialogue with the customer about developing an alternate solution or an alternate approach that again gets the project delivered faster or whatever process we're trying to solve for them. But deep in my heart, the most important thing is people. I mentioned the challenge we have in this country, and it truly is a fight for talent. And for me, it's one that we're very focused on with our people strategy. We want to be the employer of choice. And that takes a lot of sweat equity, if you will. And it's a matter of investing in 3 key areas. One is talent attraction. We have a new HR director that's joined us, and he's been fantastic. And among his many skills, one of them is recruiting. And this is where we brought in-house ourselves, going out and recruiting people directly out of the market instead of relying on traditional headhunters. This is taking ownership of it. We also have a very lucrative employee referral policy. You know, some of our best employees have come through referrals from our existing employees, and it's very important that we bring talent in that way. We also talk about training and development. We want to give people a future, and this is about developing a career path and also making sure that we're training our people. We're rolling out with our managers training this year 360 surveys. This is an evaluation for them as individuals of how they're perceived within the work environment. And it's important that they all have that recognition of who they are and how they're perceived so they can be more effective in their job. Another important element for us, Brad, is our engagement with the community. We formed earlier this year an employee committee where different people from different departments get together and organize events. It's that engagement that will help people feel more like this is a home for them when they come to the office every day, and something that they're really proud to be part of. And you know, when we also talk about talent, what has been most impressive is the fact that we've been able to hire 60 people. in the last 10 months in what is a very challenging market. And I'm amazed with the talent that we brought in, including our marketing and communications manager, Jamie Bartholomew. And last but not least, it's the retention piece. And again, it's not only being an employer of choice, but again, providing people a career path that they know what their potential future could be if they continue to perform in the right way. And for me, this is a battle that will continue and an important area of focus for us moving forward is to continue to develop and retain and keep our employees.
Kevin, lastly, can you shed some insight onto Schuler North America's strategic plan? What can we expect from Schuler North America?
Well, given all we've talked about earlier, Brad, I mean, you can expect more of the same, honestly. It's, again, our primary focus here as a service business is we have to grow. And we have to make sure we have our capability, continue investing in the training, bringing new employees. We're very fortunate. We look at the market conditions. We had a record year in order intake last year, 40% higher than any previous year. And so again, we have to take advantage of these conditions and again, make sure we're well positioned in adding and growing our organization further. Over the next 3 years, our strategy plan includes growth of over 88% within the service business only. Again, we have a huge installed base. I mentioned a service location in Austin, Texas. We're now developing plans to add a service location in the Southeast U.S., where a large piece of our installed base is, as well as a developing part of our installed base in the Western U.S. And again, for me, with my background as a customer, it's about trying to be as close as we can to a customer to best support them. Still leveraging the resources we have both within North America and globally, but again, having the right resources locally that we can support them quickly from any loss in production. One of the major investments we made, even during the pandemic when most companies were cutting costs, we acquired a new facility here, a service facility here in the Canton area, just a few miles from our office. And that serves as both a warehouse where we store, again, parts, but at the same time, it's a manufacturing facility for projects. We have a 50-ton crane and we execute many of the modernization projects we have through there as well. So again, that is a further expansion that again, you'll continue to see from the company to make sure that we can support our customers better here locally.
Kevin, thank you for that excellent kind of overview of what Schuler's up to. It was great meeting with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brad. It was a pleasure to sit down with you today.